The Matrix was a film released on March 31st, 1999, and has a stellar cast like Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, and Hugo Weaving. Directed by the Wachowski brothers, the film has highly praised success from both critics and audiences, while also managing to make over $450 million at the box office. Even though this movie came out 20 years ago, the movie still holds very high praise and relevance today. Through this video, I will be explaining the story of the movie while also taking the time to explain why this movie is important to our society today and the issues that it has on the real world. The story of the movie explains a world like our own. In this world, it is called the Matrix, and people act and behave like a computer program. It explains that over time, humans became too dependent on AI, and now AI are controlling the people. We meet a lonely software engineer and hacker named Neo. We see here that he lives an empty and dull life at the start of the movie. According to Merriam-Webster, Neo in the scene exemplifies nihilism, which is the belief that life is senseless and useless. In his room, Neo sits around in his apartment as he investigates his life with no meaning. That is why he chose to become a hacker, finding a way to escape his mundane life. All that changes when he receives a message on his monitor that gives him instructions to escape the Matrix by telling him to follow the White Rabbit. He then receives a knock at his door and is greeted with a group of people wanting his help. He sees that one of the people has a White Rabbit tattoo. Neo follows the instructions from the monitor and the group into a club, where he meets up with a woman named Trinity. She confronts Neo by telling him that he knows his life is aimless and meaningless, and nihilism has plagued him, but promises him an answer will appear to him soon. Nihilism has shown to be a large part in our society today, especially in men. According to USA Facts, it states that since 2020, adults in the United States have a depression rate of 19.6%, and it's looking to continue to increase. Neo then wakes up back from his bed and ready to go to his cubicle like any other day. He then receives a call from somebody named Morpheus. He tells Neo he must overcome his fear by following his instructions, as the agents of the Matrix are after him. Neo escapes the guards and is given one more task, which is to walk through the ledge of the building. Even though Neo knows that by doing this he can escape, his fear still holds him back, and because of that he is caught and interrogated by the agents, and for punishment he's place a tracker on his stomach like that will forever keep him in the Matrix. In this moment, this makes Neo want to deviate away from the Matrix. Outliers can bring much more positive change to their society. For example, in 1961, in the small town of Roseto, Pennsylvania, low levels of disease, crime, alcohol, and suicide were inside that town. In particular, the Italian American community had a low rate of heart disease as well. There was only one leading cause of death, and that was of old age. Neo then meets up with Trinity along with the others. Before they do anything, they have to remove the bug from Neo's stomach, and after they arrive at the location, Neo finally meets up with Morpheus. Morpheus tells Neo that he's being controlled as a slave to the Matrix. After Morpheus tells everything to Neo, Morpheus offers him a choice whether to ignore the truth or learn the true nature of the Matrix. In this choice, it is the blue pill, which is Neo's ticket back to his home like nothing ever happened, or the red pill, which allows Neo to see how the world truly is. This begins Neo's journey, which this kind of storytelling is a simple technique known as the hero's journey. According to Become a Writer Today, the site, this brilliant story technique is used to describe the dystopian world of the Matrix very well, and Neo will learn here the truth by be given some very difficult tasks in front of him. Neo chooses the red pill, and right after he does, the world around him begins to melt and fade away to black. After this, Neo wakes up in a pod, almost drowned, as one of the first things he sees of the Matrix is he wakes up in some sort of human factory farm. Neo is then picked up by a claw of a ship to be rehabilitated by Morpheus and his crew. As Neo is being rehabilitated, he asks Morpheus why his eyes hurt. Morpheus tells him it's because it's the first time in his life he's being control of his own body and is free from the Matrix. Morpheus shows Neo the true reality of the Matrix, and while Neo questions him, Morpheus tells him that things such as sight, taste, and smell are signaled through our brains that allow us to choose to believe what is real. Morpheus explains that people the from the world Neo is from are programmed and ingrained in the Matrix, all while they believe that Neo is a reincarnation of a man, being able to change the Matrix. At this point in the movie, Neo needs to overcome the world that he once lived in the Matrix in order to find true meaning in life. As Neo is training and being taught by Morpheus about the inner workings of the Matrix, he and Morpheus are spawned into the simulation of a dojo. The point of this is that Neo can use the algorithms to change the rules of the Matrix. Morpheus explains that to be successful in combat, he must overcome the mental barrier that is holding him back. In Neo's journey, he has completed the training he needed to face off against the unknown forces inside the Matrix. Then Neo and Morpheus decide to meet up with a person named the Oracle. There they see a kid who seems to be doing impossible things, and one of the kids was able to bend the spoon with his mind. Neo realizes that to bend the spoon, he must realize that there is no spoon, and use that to overcome his mind. This scene especially symbolizes the way out of the Matrix. This scene is a real world example of how you can overcome any obstacles with your mindset. It changes your life, and by doing this, it'll allow you to see the world for how it truly is. In one of their missions, Morpheus is captured and interrogated by Agent Smith, as the two represent equals on opposite sides. Since Smith is an AI and Morpheus is a man, he tells him that humans are like a virus and will replenish the resources needed for survival and more. Smith states that he hates the Matrix only because he views himself as above it. Smith represents the elite who created the Matrix and hides the horrible nature of the world by creating an artificial one and having people pretend to see. Then Neo and Trinity come to rescue Morpheus. As he and Trinity head back, Neo then sees Agent Smith before he can escape, and then both fight. When Neo fights Agent Smith, Smith shoots and kills Neo in the first. Then Trinity tries to bring Neo back to life, and as a biblical sense, this symbolizes Neo's death and rebirth of his journey, and him finally escaping the Matrix. Then, right after Neo is resurrected, and he sees the Matrix and has finally mastered the codes. He then is able to fight Agent Smith and defeat him without ease, killing him. He fulfills his destiny, and towards the end of the movie, we see Neo in a phone booth walking on a pedestrian street. And in the end shot here, he's flying in the air, which serves as an allegory to Neo's freedom. This movie can be seen as a warning to our society today, as the virtual world represents the Matrix, as it shows us how we behave and where we can find things to be happy. It's shown throughout the movie that the only way that we can escape this is to find meaning in our reality by changing our mindset at not allowing corporations and social media to tell us what we need. This movie also shows us the path that society will take us and what we can do to stop it. It talks about how technology has controlled us so badly that we have allowed big tech companies like Facebook to play a huge part with our emotions and keep us believing whatever we want in their version of the Matrix.